What would you recommend for people in getting started with real estate about setting goals and tracking their progress in that?
I think the first and most important aspect of getting into real estate, we're talking about long-term
Correct.
residential real estate, that one of the most important things is to have a long-term mindset. So you're not just buying something, you're not going to be done in 5 years. At least I'm not planning on dying in 5 years. I want stuff that's going to last until I die. And so I'm looking at accumulating for another 20 years or so, and then having other people maybe accumulating, but me not being actively involved in it. And so because there's the arc, it's like, okay, you're in the accumulation phase, and then you go into retirement, and then you go into distribution where you're distributing it because you're not taking it with you on the other side.
Right.
So how do you plan for that? If you look at it as, okay, if I'm going to get into real estate, am I going to be in it the rest of my life? I am. My family has been. And a lot of people that I know that do get into real estate, I mean, some people get in and they have a bad experience and then they get back out. They're like, nope, I'm done. Don't want any more. But most people who get in and buy a portfolio, which is 2, 3, 4 properties, then they get in, they hold them for a long time. Sometimes they sell them when they're in retirement. Sometimes they sell them to be able to do certain things in retirement or fund certain things. But the plan should include all that. And I think that many people are just thinking, oh, well, I'm going to make $1 million in real estate, but they're not thinking, okay, how do I get to that $1 million? How do I get past it? And realistically, it's not just the cash in hand, because you could certainly make $1 million in real estate. As I mentioned before, buy your own house, move up to another house, keep that house, move up to the next house, keep that house, pay them all off. You have $1 million, but then what do you do? Or maybe you have more than $1 million. Depending on where you live. Then what do you do? How does that feed you? If you have real estate, it feeds you on a monthly basis from the income. But having $1 million is only good if you want to put it towards something else, or if it's going to feed you. And there's not a lot of places where you can make as much money as in real estate. If you take that $1 million, you sell out of real estate, and then you move to something else that is going to feed you on a regular basis. So going back to the plan, it's thinking about, okay, where do I want to get to? Where's going to be like my pinnacle, or where do I stop accumulating? And that's the whole arc is, okay, buy one, grow it, and then restructure it so that your real estate business holdings are the way that you want them to be, so that they fit in with your lifestyle and things like that, and then retire with it. Family members that have retirement real estate, they receive the incomes from the real estate they bought over their lifetime. So I think that all those things are part of the plan. I hope that makes it fairly clear, clear as mud.
Yeah.
And if you don't think about that, if you're just thinking, oh, I've got to get to $1 million, well, yeah, you can plan to do that, but then what do you do after that? Because you're going to live longer than when you have that $1 million. And so, but I think real estate is really easy to plan for the future, because if you don't like it, you can always sell out of it and go into something else. And if you do like it, you can keep it and pass it to the next generation. So,
thank you.